Hello, this is Burhain Selassie, the Orthodox Catholic one again. This is, of course, Golden Sword Apologetics. And today's video is about the Aramaic Gospels, the Peshitta text, and the word Muslim. And the fact is that the word Muslim, or the Aramaic word for Muslim, is indeed used in the Aramaic text called the Peshitta text, or Peshito. Not in the way you necessarily think it is, but first of all, Muslim theology believes that Islam did not start with their prophet Muhammad, but it was the religion from the time of Adam, and that even Jesus was a Muslim. As evidence for this claim, some Islamic apologists will make certain assertions, like the following. This is their assertion. You'll find this on Answering Christianity and all sorts of Muslim websites, just copying and pasting each other. It starts off, let us look at Luke 6:40 from my N.I.V Bible. A student is not above his teacher, but everyone who is fully trained underlined, will be like his teacher. The perfection here means a spiritual one. What the verse is saying is that knowledge is not what matters. The teacher or master is higher in knowledge than his student. But the student can be as high as his teacher or even higher by being a true MUSHLAM or Muslim, a spiritually perfected or well-disciplined person. Let us look at what Jesus said in Luke 6:40 in the Aramaic language, translated into Hebrew as shown below. And if you go on the website, they'll actually have a link to some modern Peshitta text translation into Hebrew that's very modern. Anyway, their transliteration, I had to write this out for myself because they just photocopied it or whatever. They don't know how to type in Hebrew. But anyway, it says, Ain talmidi nale al rabo sheken kal adam she mushlam yeyi ki rabo. First of all, they screwed this up. It's not, this is their main word, and they screwed it up kind of. It says shem mushlam. It's actually supposed to be two M's with the M over here too, but of course they don't know Hebrew, so they can't transliterate it. Anyway, their absurd argument is not saying that the Lord Jesus, when he was speaking Greek, Aramaic, or Hebrew, said this word, or that St. Luke, when he was in St. Luke's translation of the Aramaic Peshitta text, has Jesus using this word, or it doesn't claim any of these things, but it claims that a modern-day translation of the verse into modern Hebrew from Aramaic uses a word that is similar to Muslim. Biblical Hebrew in the Hebrew Bible never once uses the word Shem Mushlam, but it does use the word these four letters, which is pronounced different every time because the Biblical Hebrew doesn't actually have vowels associated with it in the text. You have to know them, but anyway, it goes Mem, Shin, Lamed, and Mem Sofit. It's used 19 times in the Hebrew Bible. And 17 of those times, which you can see right here, I can pull up the Bible software that I used for this. Actually, I know it's more than the. Yeah, here they are. You can go through them. Check. Here's all the times they appear. Whoops. Anyway, it's mostly found in 2 Kings. Once in 2 Kings 22:23, 1 Chronicles it's used 4 times, Ezra it's used once in 10:29, Nehemiah it's used dozens of times, a dozen times or roughly, and once in Isaiah and Jeremiah. But anyway, those 17 times in 2 Kings 2:22, 1 Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, etc., 17 of those 19 times, it's simply referring to someone's name. It just says this, his name, the son of MUSHLAM, the scribe. So his name's right here, MUSHLAM, and then the scribe. So that's over and over. You can check it up here on the top of the screen. Over, MUSHLAM, 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 MUSHLAM. Anyway, that's his name. It's not saying Muslim, it says MUSHLAM. 2 L's actually. But anyway, so vast majority of those times it's referring to a person's name. The only two that's not, it's actually being used as a word, is Isaiah 66:6 and Jeremiah 51 6. And let's start off with Isaiah 66:6. It's the Hebrew text is right here. But anyway, it's translated as, "It is the sound of the Lord repaying," and then the word there is MUSHLAM, 2 L's. And here I have the translation, MUSHLAM. MUSHLAM. His enemies, all they deserved. So God's repaying his enemies what they deserve. And that's found in the N.I.V, the same translation that they insist above. And here's the Hebrew text, Kol Adonai MUSHLAM, or MUSHLAM, I should say, Gemul le'oivav. So, I'll comment on that later. Let's go to Jeremiah 51, verse 6. "It is the time for the Lord's vengeance. He shall repay MUSHLAM her what she deserves." So repay here is the word MUSHLAM. And then you can see the Hebrew text right here, which I translated, alliterated below. Ki et nechama hi le'Adonai gemul MUSHLAM lach. Anyway, we see the word MUSHLAM is not MUSHLAM or MUSHLIM or MUSHLIMA or MUSHLIMA or MUSLIMA or anything like that. It's spelled, I guess, the same rough characters you would expect the word Muslim, but it's obviously not Muslim. And this proves the word Muslim is never actually used in biblical Hebrew, and the closest is a person's name. And the only other 2 times are in the context of God smiting people, smiting his enemies, which is certainly less than complimentary for Islam and its apologists. As we see here, repaying his enemies, he's going to MUSHLAM his enemies. So that's not a very good evidence for Muslims pre-existing. But let's go on. Let's actually go to what the Aramaic text in the Gospels, the Injils as the Muslims call them, say. Which I'm referencing the Aramaic Peshitta text because that's what they used in their argument above, was actually derived from the Peshitta text. You could go on their websites and Google that stuff, and you'll see that they're referencing the Peshitta text. Anyway, let's see what the Peshitta text says. I actually found the Aramaic word for Muslim, in the Aramaic text, and the word is Mushlamana. That's one of them. That actually is the Aramaic word. And here's the first one I found. It's in Luke 6:16, and here's Lamsa's translation from the Aramaic Peshitta text. It says, "And Judas, the son of James, and Judah, the Iscariot, who became the traitor, Mushlamana." Here's the Aramaic word. You can break it down. That's mem, that's sheen, that's the lamed, or what, I forget what it's called in Aramaic. And that's the mem again, and then that's nun, and then that's an aleph at the end to signify the. So it says mushlamana, and that's actually the Aramaic word for Muslim also. But here it means betrayer or traitor. And you can actually scroll down, and here's actually what it says in the Aramaic lexicon. It says mushlamana. It says meaning betrayed or perfected. When it's in the nominative, I forget what this stands for. Active. It means betrayer, and they have an example from the book of 3rd Maccabees, which I forgot to include in here. So that's when it means betray, and then it also can mean a perfected one. And then they use an example from the Talmud about a person fallen into a pit, which is a paraphrase or a rewriting of a proverb, but it's not actually found in the proverb. And this is the actual word lemushlamana. And then in other period of Aramaic, it means Muslim, and it's used right here, lemushlamana. But anyway, so we can see it could mean 3 different things: perfected, betrayer, or Muslim. But that didn't take place till the 3rd century with that 3rd meaning. But anyway, I want to go through all the times mushlamana appears in the Injils, the Gospels, the four Gospels. And so anyway, the next one I found was in the Lord's Supper. It's Luke 22, verse 21. In the Peshitta text it says, "And behold, the hand of him who is to betray me is at the table." And the word here is do mushlaman. You can see it right here, which means he is to betray me, referring to Judas once again. So we see in the Aramaic the word for Muslim, mushlamana, is used in Luke 6, and it means traitor, not submission or peace, like Muslims like to claim Muslim means. If we were to move on to the Peshitta text of Matthew's Gospel, we see the word appearing once again with a word that is even more similar to Muslim. Now, this is Matthew 26, verse 46 through 47. It says, "Arise and let us go. Behold, he who is to deliver me." The word for deliver me, or hand me over, or transfer me, it says, do mashlema, or do mashlema, has arrived. While he was speaking, behold, Judas the traitor, mushlamana. So you see two words here that sound like Muslim, but both refer to betraying Jesus. The word do mushlema, word do means who or which, and mashlema means transfer or hand over. In this case, it's in the sense of betrayal. Interestingly enough, do mashlema seems to have the word shalom, which means peace or wholeness, which seems to be related to the Arabic word salam, as a wa salam alaikum. Anyway, as its root, similar to what some Muslims claim the word Muslim is related to, with some, I don't know, they just claim as the word peace in it. Yet we see the word mashlema here means to betray Jesus. Betray your prophet, betray the N.I.V, Allah's Rasul, whatever you want to call Jesus, if you're Muslim. Now going back to the word for Muslim, mashlamana, we see it appearing 4 more times in Matthew 26:25, 26:47, Matthew 26:48, and Matthew 27 verse 3. All of them refer to Judas Iscariot when he betrayed Jesus. It's all in that context. Judas hanging himself, Judas the betrayer hanging himself, and at the Last Supper when Judas was there about to hand Jesus over to the Romans. It clearly says that he betrayed him. He's a traitor. The apostles considered him a traitor. He abandoned them and forsook the Lord and sent him off to be crucified. Unlike any Muslim theory that claims Jesus actually took his place, it's unfounded in the Gospels. Nothing suggested. Judas even kills himself in the Gospels. He's called a traitor. Anyway, if we were to go on to the Mark's Gospel, we see once again in Mark 14, verse 44, we see both of these previously words that I highlighted up here. We see him again. It says, "And the traitor who was to do the delivering gave them a sign, and he said, 'He whom I kiss is the one. Seize him carefully and take him away.'" So we see the word mushlimana, and I think that's do moshlem, which refers to handing over or trading or giving up or transferring. But anyway, it's referring to Judas being a traitor, betraying Jesus. And finally, in John's Gospel, also the word mushlamana is used twice. John 18, verse 2, I show it right here. Judah, or Judas, as he's called in the Greek text, the traitor also knew that place, for Jesus and his disciples frequently gathered there. So you see the word right there. And then John 18, verse 5, only a few verses later, they said to him, Jesus the Nazarene. Jesus said to them, "I am he." Judah the traitor, mushlamana, was also standing with them. So although the word Muslim, in the sense of the religion, was not actually did not actually take up that connotation until the 7th century, the word was previously used in Aramaic in Jewish and Christian writings, as discussed before with this definition. And as far as I can see, in the Aramaic Peshitta text, in the four Gospels, or the Gospels according to those four disciples of Jesus, it simply is only used in the sense of betrayal. Even in that time in Luke 6:40 that you talk about, if you were to look at what the Aramaic says, it's not even the word MUSHLAM. I remember it starts off with a G sound, but it doesn't sound anything like it. So I don't know why they're trying to use this argument. It makes no sense. It's ignorant. It's dumb. It doesn't prove anything. So anyway, my conclusion is that the word Muslim is used in the Aramaic text of the New Testament, and it refers to the one who betrayed the Lord Jesus Christ, Judas Iscariot, the son of perdition, the son of damnation, whatever you want to call him. If Muslims want to be in the New Testament, meaning they want the word Muslim to be in the New Testament, let them be the traitors that they are, because they betrayed Christ's own words of divinity when he said in John 17 verse 3, "Glorify me, Father, with the glory I had before the world was." Obviously, this is incompatible with Islam. And so are many of Jesus' statements, where he asserts divinity, where he asserts that he has the same authority as the Father has given him all things, and that he is to judge mankind, and that he is to receive the same honor as the Father. If the Father is God, and he's honored as God, then logically Jesus Christ would likewise be honored as God. Furthermore, it is insignificant in translating an old text in Aramaic, that is the Peshitta text. It's insignificant that if you translate the Aramaic text into modern Hebrew, and then looking at a word that resembles Muslim, it doesn't prove anything. It just proves that you are able to find a word that looks like Muslim. Anyway, this is Brahim Selassie, the Orthodox Catholic.